He is also an 8-time felon who sold drugs. He spent 8 years in prison for armed robbery and counterfeiting about $40 million in credit cards. Pretty soon, people are going to be reading this man's amazing story. He's Victor Woods. His book, A Breed Apart, comes out early next year. Victor, you're an author. You're a successful entrepreneur.
Bill, I sold 40,000 copies of that book. Started my own company when I got out of prison. I traveled across the country. I've spoken at Houston Astrodome, University of Michigan.
And you're a man who has proven to himself and to others who will be reading the story that no matter what our circumstances, we can become absolutely anybody.
Certainly. It's not where we start, it's where we finish. If you're relentless, you know, I often tell people, you know, eyesight is what we have in front of us, vision is what we see down the road. Where do you see yourself? What do you think that you can become? Well, people become what they think they can.
That seems to take a lot of self-motivation and drive. What about the person who might say, I'm just an ordinary, quiet nobody. Nobody even notices me. I'd like to be successful too.
I have a talent for speaking. Everyone has a particular talent. Some people can draw, some people can paint, some people have a talent to work on cars. It's about being focused and having a vision. Some child is sitting at home right now and may be saying, hey, he may be poverty-stricken, but he may be saying, hey, I want to be a news reporter. I want to have my own television show. He can look at you and see that there's an opportunity to do those things. There's nothing in life that we can't achieve if we really want those things bad enough.
How long did it take you to come to realize that you determined your future?
Well, I often tell people when we become sick and tired, that's when you change the condition of your life. I was in jail. I was in prison. I was at my lowest point, and I had become sick and tired of being in that situation, and that is when I began to change the direction of my life.
And you're touching other people's lives, too,
Absolutely,
now.
absolutely. That's what I enjoy doing. There's nothing more rewarding to me than to see a person that has looked at my life and said, hey, if that guy can come out of prison, have his own business, sign a multi-million-dollar deal with Simon & Schuster, I can achieve something as well in my life.
Is that part of your giving back ethic, perhaps?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think if I've been able to make sense of my life that way, being able to share and give back to people and give hope. And we have more young black men in prison than we do in college. So it's very important for someone to see someone who's gone through the system, who of course has gotten out and been able to make it.
Yeah, I saw you speak. We were both speaking at a school on the South Side, and
Absolutely.
I was very impressed, and those kids were impressed too. You did
Absolutely.
make a difference. All right, Victor Woods, thank you so much. Again, the book is A Breed Apart. It goes on sale nationwide next January.
Thanks for having me.
Flashback tonight, an ongoing controversy. Can watching violent movies eventually lead, with some, to a life of crime? Bill O'Reilly spoke with a man who said that his criminal behavior was inspired by movies like The Godfather and Casino. Victor Woods, author of A Breed Apart, spoke with O'Reilly about his cinematically inspired life of crime and how he has since turned his life around.
Mr. Woods, you're one of the first guys that I've ever heard really blame the media for committing a pretty serious crime, armed robbery. You had parents who both went to college, lived in an affluent suburb, you had a nice upbringing. So what happened?
Well, basically, you know, I'm not blaming the media for the fact that I, you know, had an armed robbery ring and a credit card conspiracy. Basically, art often imitates life, and some of the movies that I watched, The Godfather, being a young man, 15, 16 years old, and being impressionable, Scarface and different movies like that, kind of had a strong impression on me and kind of made me think about being involved in a life of crime.
All right, let me stop you there. You got Scarface, you got The Godfather. I saw those movies too, and I was a little older than you, but not a lot. And I mean, I didn't want to run out and start an armed robbery ring or do anything bad. And you know, I'm a little confused about why you would want to do that if your parents were moral people, and it seems they were.
Well, certainly my parents were moral people, and as a young person, I was impressionable, and certainly I made a mistake, and I'm sorry about that. But again, as far as what I did in terms of the armed robbery ring, it wasn't necessarily that I was involved in that type of lifestyle. I wanted to be involved in it, and those things kind of fueled my interest in that.
All right, now let me, why did you want to do things that you knew were wrong and hurt other people? Why would you want to do that?
Well, first of all, I'd like to be clear. I never hurt anybody. When I did those armed robberies, I did those with unloaded pellet guns.
Yeah, I know, but look, hold it. When you point a pellet gun, the guy doesn't know it's unloaded, and you're stealing money from him. You're hurting somebody.
Now that's absolutely true. But I will say this: I was using my potential in the wrong way. As far as the armed robbery ring was concerned, I've also attended Northwestern University. I've launched a motivational speaking career.
No, we know you've turned it around, but I'm trying to get why you did it in the first place.
Well, one of the things, I was using my potential in the wrong way. When we talk about this armed robbery ring, now let me be clear. There were 9 people involved. I was using police scanners, walkie-talkies. There were binoculars involved. This was done with 9 other individuals.
All right, but you're doing bad stuff, okay?
Yes.
You, Victor Woods, bad stuff. You know it's bad. You're doing it, and I want to know why.
Well, this is a 16-year-old young man. Why I did it for the money. I mean, at the time, I had left home at 15 years old. I was out on my own, and originally I got involved in the life of crime because of money.
All right, but you rejected, your parents didn't want you to leave home, Victor. You said, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go out and do bad things.
Well, sir, look, most people at some points in their life have problems with their parents and experience things that they necessarily may not like at home, and I was no different than a lot of children. However, I got involved in the life of crime. A lot of people get involved in the life of crime. I think what's more important is people turning that negative into a positive.
Okay, but the problem that I want to address here is that I didn't go your way. I mean, I saw the same movies you did. I'm sure I had the same pressures at home. Not exactly, but everybody has them. But you went one way and made a decision to go that way. With good parents in a good suburb, with opportunities a lot of other people don't have. And I'm still not clear on why you made that decision.
Well, it was a bad decision. I think people make mistakes in life. As far as people doing things that they see on TV, a lot of the killing and a lot of these young people that are doing some of the killing in our schools today are emulating things that they've seen on television. So there are quite a few people in our society that are doing bad things based on some of the things they saw on television.
Yeah, I know they are, but I don't know why, because I see the same bad things, and so do millions of Americans, and they don't do the bad stuff.
Well, now, again, I think a person has a choice. I'm certainly not saying or blaming Hollywood for the things that I did. I made a conscious decision to do wrong. Today, I've made a conscious decision to do right. I've watched a lot of positive people like yourself, which kind of made me want to get involved in motivational speaking and write a book. Now, instead of doing negative things, now I'm doing positive things. Some of the positive things that I've seen people do on television, now I'm emulating those things.
Okay, well, that's good.
Other people to get up. Because I am an example of his greatness. I'm an example of his greatness. From a jail cell reading his book, that it has not been easy.